I just wanted to start with some examples, and with a slide I think sums it up nicely, even if it's not specifically on agriculture. But I was thinking about this panel and realizing the focus is always on women within our world, and we don't really ever say about a man in this world that doesn't have the experience. So, you know, we don't, I wish we did not live in this world where we say Mrs. Sirleaf was the first female president in Africa, and Miss Maluleke is the first female and black bank CEO in South Africa, and Isabel dos Santos is the richest female in the continent. Because on the other hand, we would never say Aliko Dangote is the richest male in Africa, right? So I think that is why the quote from the current Trade and Investment Minister from Botswana is so fitting, because why do people ask about a disadvantage of being a female in a senior role? And I think especially in agriculture, this is it's very challenging for women. There is a lot of bias. There is, you know, there is harassment in the workplace, and there is maybe not enough initiatives that are implemented to change this. And I'm joined today by Wynand, who is heading up the online Agricolleges International, offering very good workshops and 1 year plus trainings across the continent on agri. I'm joined by Sabdiyo, who is heading up a department within AGRA, the very large Pan-African association, on gender and inclusiveness within AGRA. Unfortunately, Busi, who is running a very interesting agri project in KwaZulu-Natal, couldn't make it. But if anyone is interested, please do send me a direct message. I can connect you. And her project is a completely women-owned and women-run macadamia plantation right next to a large-scale commercial farm. And she has been very successful in implementing that. And most of those women in that area, apparently it is the second poorest area in South Africa, are women-run households. So she has started this initiative. So let me know if you wish any more info on this. I think over to my very esteemed speakers, and please introduce yourselves and give us some examples of your work, and let's have a discussion. And at the end, we can hopefully have some more questions from our delegates and take it forward. Thank you so much. Over to Wynand, males first.
I was just about to say, let's have the females first.
No.
Thank you, Julia. Thanks, everyone, for organizing this event. Like Julia said, I think it's sad that we have to host events to celebrate our women and to make progress. It should be something that's second nature to us, to put the women on the pedestal that they deserve to be on, and to show that, especially in agriculture is not a male's job anymore. It's not a male-dominated industry. And we'll talk, hopefully, talk a bit more about that today. But just in short, yeah, I'm the COO from Agricolleges International, modern cloud-based e-learning institution. We use world-class technology on an online platform that's hosted in Canada, and we bridging the education gap in Africa by bringing online studies and online education in agriculture and agri-related fields to rural communities especially, but to the whole of Africa. We've already got alumni from 23 different countries across the world, covering 5 continents. So in the short while that we've been operational, we've made some huge progress. We've taken some big strides and we've made some big statements. And one of the big statements that we've made is that from day one, we said that 30% of all our students will eventually be on a on a bursary of some kind. And that bursary could vary anything between a 20% support to 100% supported bursary. And of that 30% that we want to put on bursaries, we've set ourselves a target that 60% of those must be allocated to female students and marginalized groups, mainly disabled students. So we've set the targets, we've made the statements, and time will tell, but that so far we're keeping up with that. We've only been operational for 4 years, but courses running for the last 2 years. So that's just in short what we're about. And yeah, we'll talk a bit more about that just now.
Sabdiyo, little introduction about all the projects you're running at the same time.
Yeah. Thank you very much, and good morning all. Yeah, my name is Sabdiyo Dido. I'm the head of gender and inclusiveness at AGRA. AGRA is the Alliance for Green Revolution in Africa. It's an African-led partnership working with governments, private sector, civil society, and farming populations towards sustainable and equitable growth of agriculture sector for food and nutrition security and prosperity for all Africans. We know that agriculture is really the engine of growth in Africa. And so for us to really influence rural livelihoods and poverty reduction, it really is one of the key sectors and pathways for growth and poverty reduction. So our efforts lie largely within the context of agriculture and the food systems sector. We work with smallholder farmers, including women farmers. We work with systems of delivery that offer services, products and services to smallholder farmers. And of course, we work with governments and private sector, all with the hope of bringing smallholder production systems into the mainstream, because at the moment, of course, we all understand the construct of smallholder farming in Africa. It's small, it's disenfranchised, it's geographically dispersed, and of course not that competitive. So the idea is really to bring them into the mainstream, to connect them to markets, to connect them to the different services, and grow the income and food and nutrition security. Within the gender and inclusiveness unit, which is really a core unit within AGRA, and this our gender and inclusiveness principles runs across all the work that we do. We look, of course, at then groups that are not traditionally participating and benefiting from agriculture sector. So these are women, these are youth, and these are farming populations or smallholder farmers, and of course their families who are not yet directly connected to the mainstream. And when I talk about the mainstream, there is the mainstream always behind the mainstream. So there are always people who are excluded from the systems of production, but also the systems of benefit. So we have a couple of things that we are working on at AGRA. So we are working to improve access for female farmers to the different production services. We are working with the women entrepreneurs and youth entrepreneurs in agriculture and agri-based services so that they can derive income and employment through this channel. And of course, we are working with a number of other agri-SMEs, of course, going beyond the scope of gender definition and demographic definition, to also SMEs that bring jobs and employment and services within the agri-food sector. So one of the key projects, of course, that we are involved in at the moment is a project around women SME development, and we have an initiative that we call Value for Her platform. So Value for Her brings women's agribusinesses together on a digital platform, and this platform offers services to women. One of the key things that we are trying to address through this initiative is women are always in the background when it comes to access to markets, access to finance, access to market information, things that are needed to grow businesses, and they're always behind, you know, the rest of the entrepreneurs who easily present themselves. They're a bit hidden. So this platform is really to bring them to the fore, so that financiers can find them, so that buyers can find them, so that different services can easily meet them, but also for them to help them to come to the fore, become visible with their businesses, become easily identifiable and locatable. So this platform is really about that, and we are very excited to begin this whole new initiative in a new phase with AGRA, and we are going to invite women entrepreneurs onto this platform. We are going to invite investors into this platform, and we are going to invite the broader agri-food companies to come and engage with women directly through this platform. So there are a number of these kind of initiatives we are involved in, and I'll be happy to just point out a few of them through this panel. Thank you. Over.
Thank you. I just wanted to hear a bit more about this new platform. Obviously, you mentioned it's only been launched 2 or 3 weeks ago, which is very, very fresh. How do we access this platform? Is it open to the public or any business-to-business partner out there? Is it a membership-based platform? Can you tell us a bit more and maybe share a link?
Yes, absolutely. So it's the platform is it has 3 categories of membership. The first category of membership is women businesses in Africa, and these, when I talk about women businesses in Africa, I'm sure the mind drifts to this small business out there in the village, you know, that's struggling. No, the members of these businesses, the members of this platform are businesses that are established. They are possibly medium to large businesses that are led by women, and the reason why this is the choice for this particular service is because this is a group that can consume, for example, market information that is possibly regional or global in nature. Yeah, that this is a group that has capacity to intake capital and investment and grow their businesses. This is a group that has capacity to sell their produce in bulk, to aggregate and sell in bulk. So this is really the idea. So there is a women category that is members. There is also a membership that is open to financiers and capital and investment service providers. The idea then is for these investment and capital service providers to then directly link with women and get into a business relationship there. And then there is also a level that is membership for the agri-food sector, companies that are looking for bulk commodities to buy from African women. So this is also another level of membership. So the membership is graduated like this. For now, it's all open. But of course, we are also in the process of thinking through a business model for a platform like this, so that it becomes also more sustainable going forward, and it becomes a one-stop support and services also for women entrepreneurs. So this is, the membership is open at the moment, and we welcome as many partners as possible to join us in this journey as we grow women's agribusinesses on the continent, because we know it plays such a crucial role for food security, for family well-being, for economic growth of our countries. It's very, very that women really, you know, exploit their potential also to be productive, just like our male counterparts are.
Thank you so much. I also like what Wynand mentioned to me yesterday, that they are developing sort of customized workshops for specific needs in the business space. And Wynand, maybe you can also tell us a bit more about things that you have experienced as a lecturer or as a you know, in interactions with your female students. What is happening on the ground what are the challenges that women face? How do they get the confidence to be out there as one woman amongst 50 males?
Yeah.
What are the examples that you can tell us about?
Yeah, I think that the biggest challenge that we find is intimidation and victimization out there. A lot of women feel when they do enter the marketplace on a farm or the job place, that they get victimized, they get intimidated because the old stigma that it's not a place for the women. It's not, women are not strong enough to be farmers. And a lot of our focus on educating people has gone from just teaching them how to be farmers to teaching them how to run a business. And it links up with what Sabdiyo was saying. Agribusiness is 100% a career for a woman. You need marketing people, you need HR people, you need financial people. All the different industries across the spectrum in the world all have those same requirements. The only difference is that women can enter any of those. It doesn't necessarily have to carry the stigma that it's agriculture and it's out in the sun. It's what the male should be doing. So we try and bring that concept in all the time. I think another problem that our students are facing is harassment. They walk into the farm. Now they're qualified female employee, and they work into, like you say, into a workplace where there may be 50 male counterparts doing the same job, and they feel that they get victimized and intimidated and harassed to a large extent in that place. So what we brought into our training, as well as the standalone courses and as part of all our training, is life skills. We call it life skills. A lot of people refer to it as soft skills. And there's a strong focus in that training on how to conduct yourself in that crisis environment, in that harassment situation, how to work as part of a team. It teaches them how to not only work as the team with their equals, but with a supervisor or with a person underneath them, whether it's a woman that's got to report to a male supervisor or whether it's a woman that's got to be the supervisor working with male people under her. We try and give them the skills and the courage to stand up for themselves. And we've had some really successful stories where some of our students have gone from literally just being general workers, general laborers in a pack house. Our very, very first student that ever enrolled on our platform was a woman that managed to pay for herself. We were really concerned because she didn't have the computer or the tech skills. And we immediately started asking the questions as to how she's going to finish this course. But she pushed through. We were patient. We helped her as far as we could with the tech skills and assisted her. And she eventually worked herself up to where she's now a senior supervisor overseeing a group of 200 people. And with the skills that she gained in that whole process, the confidence that grew from what she was to where she is now, it's given her the tools to basically manage herself in that environment. Another crisis that we have a lot of inquiries about is what happens. We cater for the youth market, which is between 18 and 34 to a very large extent. What happens if I fall pregnant? It's not being catered for by many institutions. With online learning, the great advantage is that 90% of your training is done online. We've had a number of students that fell pregnant during their studies, and they could put their studies on hold and just carry on with the, not even put it on hold, they could continue with the online part of their studies and just complete their practical part at a later stage and still get their qualification. So I think there's so many aspects that empowers women through online learning, that it's a great opportunity for us to look past all those barriers. It's almost like the barrier that is there between in every webinar, everything now with COVID and the online world that's opened up for everyone. All the talk was about the digital divide, and how do we bridge that digital divide? And in another conference recently, I said, I don't think it's so much the digital divide. It's just making sure that we create the right opportunities for the right people. So instead of always referring to the digital divide, let's take some of that money that's out there from these corporates. Instead of putting it to one thing, let's match the funding with the market, and let's get those people to not have the digital divide. The digital divide is something that can easily be bridged. I think it's the same with female empowerment. We need to look at what are the options out there, and let's stop looking into that barrier that women can't do this job. We must accept that women can do this job, and let's make it happen. How do we empower them? Through online learning, through whatever means, like the project that Sabdiyo is saying that they're working on. How do we collaborate? How do we get them the necessary expertise and the funding to empower them so that they can turn into the successful people that we know they should be, and we know they are?
Thank you so much, Wynand. That was a brilliant overview and some really good examples on the ground. Sabdiyo, would you like to give us some more experiences? I would also be interested to hear your view on the different regional challenges within Africa.
Yeah, absolutely. So I really like what Wynand said. Indeed, I think that there is enough awareness, I think, that has been created on the issue around the potential that women have. I think this is no question at this moment to, for example, question the capacities of women. Women have demonstrated way, I think, beyond any doubt that they are able to do whatever is possible to do given the right environment. I think the issue is how to support them, and we have to understand where they're coming from. Where they're coming from is they're coming into whatever sector, whatever productive activity with a huge social burden, and the social burden is around families and care, care work. If you look at, for example, in a context of Africa, there is disproportionate burden of care on women. Women are the ones who, of course, they carry the children, that's biological, but they are also the ones who will care for the children, and they're the ones who will care for the rest of the family. This poses enormous constraint on them in terms of getting into productive ventures and pursuing it in the way the male counterparts would. So understanding the social burden that the women carry would really help in putting forward programs that support them. So for AGRA, for example, and we have a huge focus on the smallholder farmers, and smallholder farmers women constitute a huge part of the smallholder farmers. In fact, at the moment, we are able to reach about 33% of smallholder farmers. Actually, the 33% of the smallholder farmers we reach are women. We understand they have challenges, and challenges are very well articulated actually by Wynand, especially around access to training. They do not have that much flexibility within their schedule in the end to be able to go to a training, that is possibly far away from their home. They are not at places where they can easily meet and get information on who is giving finance, who is giving training, or who is buying what agricultural commodities. So these are the structural issues that we are trying to address here, and it's very important that we have this understanding that we have to go an extra mile to bring them to the fore. They are hidden. They are hidden challenges that people always possibly do not see or overstep in terms of design of programs. So we have advisors. For example, AGRA has put together a team of village advisors, extension advisors, and these extension advisors essentially respond to the needs of the smallholder farmers in their context. So if they are women farmers, then their needs are articulated, and the design of services are tailored. If they are men, their needs, of course, are understood, and the design of services are tailored. If they're young people, their needs are different for sure, and the design of services are tailored. And then we are working with a huge group of SMEs in different sectors, in different subsectors. Those that are in service, there are those that are in products and processing, and of course this group cluster of women businesses that we now have on the Value for Her platform. We are working with the instruments like the Deal Room, which we annually host through the AGRA forum, the Africa Green Revolution Forum. And so again, using our convening power and our catalyst role to really bring services and support around women entrepreneurs, women farmers, women SMEs, and generally women in the ag sector.
Okay, thank you very much. Would you like to sum up, Wynand and Sabdiyo? I see that we don't have many questions yet. Any of the delegates, please put any queries you have for the end in the chat, and we can try and answer them before we go to the next session.
Yeah, thanks. I think a lot has been said, and we need to now make it happen. It's about time now that the women get the opportunities they deserve, and I don't think we have any doubts that the opportunities are out there. It's making them available to the right people in the right places. And if anything, rural Africa has some really great opportunities, and it's not just waiting for the people to come to you, but I think a lot of these opportunities need to be brought to the rural environment, where that's exactly what we focused on. We brought our online studying to the rural environment, and the upliftment that you see in communities through training, through upskilling, through giving them the opportunity. Just a very quick success story. One of our students in rural KwaZulu-Natal had nowhere to go, living in his community. He got awarded a bursary in a short course in plant production. He completed that, and then he approached 4 of his friends that also live in the village, all unemployed. They have nowhere to go, no funding. And they managed to get a little bit of money together from the community, and they started planting cabbages and spinach, and started selling it next to the road and selling it to community members. And they continued with that cycle, where they are now supplying, they've got a contract to supply a couple of local supermarkets with vegetables. And they are in the process of acquiring funding to purchase a piece of land where they can expand their things. So it's just taking that opportunity to them. And I think that's the secret to many of these doors that we need to unlock. We need to take that key to the door and not wait for it. Let's make it happen.
Thank you so much. And I think an association like AGRA, with such a wide international network, will be able to communicate to stakeholders out there, and I know that's what AGRA is doing. So thank you, both of you, for this fantastic session. Contact us directly, contact us through LinkedIn if you have any more questions. And thank you. That's